Have you ever been ghosted? You thought things were going great, but suddenly she disappears, without a trace, leaving you hanging, questioning what went wrong. Or maybe she plays hot and cold. One day she's all over you. The next day, radio, silence. It's maddening, isn't it? Let me be brutally honest with you. Women are playing games, and if you don't recognize these games and know how to deal with them, you'll be stuck in an endless loop of frustration, confusion, and heartbreak. But here's the kicker. It's not your fault that these games exist, but it is your responsibility to outsmart them. Today, I'm going to give you 10 bulletproof strategies to outsmart any woman playing games with your heart. And no, I'm not talking about manipulation. I'm talking about mastering yourself through Stoicism. You will become the calm in the storm, the unshakable man who women can't control. So buckle up, because this is going to be a wild ride that will change the way you handle relationships forever. Before we dive into the 10 ways to outsmart women, let's get one thing straight. Why do women play these games? Why do they ghost you, breadcrumb you, or keep you in emotional limbo? The truth is, women use these games to test your emotional strength. They're checking whether they can control you, manipulate you, and make you doubt yourself. And if they succeed, you're done. You've lost. They'll lose respect for you, and you'll be left chasing after them, desperate for validation. But here's the good news. You don't have to play along. Instead of being a puppet in her emotional roller coaster, you're going to become the master of your own emotions. Through Stoicism, you will learn how to remain calm, collected, and in control, no matter what game she tries to pull. This isn't just about winning with women, it's about taking control of your life. It's about refusing to be emotionally manipulated and standing tall as a man who knows his worth. So, if you're tired of being played, if you're done with the emotional games, and you're ready to take your power back, stay tuned. These 10 Stoic strategies are going to change your life. Number 1. Detach emotionally. The first strategy is the foundation of all the others. Detach emotionally. Detachment doesn't mean that you don't care. It means that you're no longer controlled by your emotions. You are no longer reactive. Most guys freak out when a woman pulls away or starts acting cold. They become anxious, start overthinking, and try to fix the situation. But here's the truth. Women are testing you. They want to see how easily you crumble under pressure. And when you chase after them, desperate for their attention, you fail the test. Instead, you need to remain emotionally detached. Whether she's texting you every 5 minutes or ghosting you for a week, your emotional state needs to stay the same. You are calm, you are centered, you are not swayed by her games. The more you practice emotional detachment, the more attractive you become. Women are drawn to men who can remain composed in any situation because it shows strength. And strength, my friend, is what makes you irresistible. Number 2. Recognize behavioral patterns. Women are creatures of habit, and trust me, once you start paying attention, you'll notice patterns in their behavior that you didn't see before. Why is this important? Because patterns reveal intent, and once you see the pattern, the game becomes predictable. And when something is predictable, you can easily outsmart it. Let's break this down. One of the most common patterns you'll see is hot and cold behavior. One day, she's texting you non-stop, saying how amazing you are, hinting at future plans together. The next day, nothing. Crickets. She's suddenly busy, distant, or acting like she doesn't care. It's maddening, right? This is the classic push-pull strategy. Women do this to see if they can get you to chase. If you fall for it and start blowing up her phone asking, "Is everything okay? Did I do something wrong?" You're playing right into her hands. Here's what you need to do. Recognize that this is a test of your emotional control. She wants to see if she can get a reaction out of you. Most guys fail this test because they panic and chase harder. But you're not most guys. You're going to stay calm, composed, and let her come to you. When you don't react to her hot and cold behavior, you flip the script. Suddenly, she's the one chasing you, wondering why you didn't fall for her game. And let me be clear, this behavior isn't always malicious. Sometimes women do it subconsciously, testing your confidence without even realizing it. But whether it's intentional or not, the result is the same. You need to stay emotionally grounded and unshakable. Another pattern to watch for is the breadcrumbing technique. This is when she gives you just enough attention to keep you interested, but never fully commits. You might get a flirty text here and there, or she'll agree to hang out sometime, but when it comes time to make real plans, she's nowhere to be found. This is a game designed to keep you on the hook, investing your time and energy without getting any real commitment in return. How do you handle breadcrumbing? Easy. You call it out, without anger and without emotional investment. You say something like, "Look, I'm not here for half-hearted attention. If you're not interested in spending time together, that's fine, but I'm not going to wait around for you." You're not angry, you're not emotional, and most importantly, you're not chasing. By doing this, you make it clear that you have standards and you're not willing to settle for less than you deserve. Number 3, set boundaries early. Setting boundaries isn't just about protecting yourself. It's about commanding respect. And here's the harsh truth. If you don't set boundaries early in the relationship, you're signaling to her that it's okay to walk all over you. Most guys are afraid to set boundaries because they think it'll scare women away. But let me tell you something, women crave boundaries. Why? Because boundaries show that you respect yourself, and a man who respects himself is a man who others will respect too. So how do you set boundaries without coming across as controlling or insecure? First, understand that boundaries are about your well-being. It's not about telling her what she can or can't do. It's about communicating what you need to feel respected in the relationship. For example, if she constantly cancels plans last minute or leaves you hanging with no explanation, you don't ignore it or shrug it off. You address it calmly and directly. Here's how it plays out. "Hey, I've noticed you've been canceling a lot lately, and I value consistency. If you're not interested in making plans work, that's fine. But I'm not okay with this back and forth." You're not attacking her, you're not accusing her, you're simply stating your boundary. And here's the magic of it. When you communicate boundaries from a place of self-respect, it forces her to either step up and respect you or she'll move on. Either way, you win because you've protected your emotional energy. Let me give you a common scenario where boundaries are crucial. Say you're dating a woman who likes to flirt with other guys in front of you. She might do it to make you jealous or test how much you care. Most guys either blow up and get angry or sit there stewing in jealousy, but not you. You calmly pull her aside later and say, "Look, I'm not into games. If you're interested in other guys, that's fine, but I'm not going to stick around for that." Notice how you're not reacting emotionally. You're setting a boundary and leaving it up to her to respect it. If she doesn't, you walk away. Number 4. Stay calm under pressure. Let's be honest, pressure reveals everything. It strips away the performance, the image, the act, and shows who you really are. Especially when a woman plays emotional games with you, you're not just facing a person, you're facing a mirror that reflects your emotional strength or your weakness. She pulls away, gets passive-aggressive, starts flirting with someone else right in front of you. That's not random. That's a test. She wants to see what's behind the mask. She wants to know if you'll break. Will you beg? Will you chase? Or will you stay grounded, composed, untouchable? A man who stays calm under pressure sends a message louder than any words. You don't control me. This isn't about being cold or shutting down. It's about mastering the art of stillness in the storm. Stoicism isn't numbness, it's precision. It's choosing not to react out of emotion, but to respond with intention. And when you're the one in control of your emotional state, nothing and no one can drag you down to their level. Imagine this. She says something provocative like, "My ex used to spoil me." That's bait. Most men would snap, try to prove themselves, or drop a sarcastic line. But you lean back and say, "Sounds like you enjoyed that." No ego, no flex, just calm. And in that calm, she realizes, you're not like the rest. Because women expect drama, they expect the chase, they expect reactions. But when you give them the opposite, silence, clarity, presence, you flip the script, you disarm the games, you stop playing and start leading. Why does this work? Because emotions feed control. When you react, you give away power. When you stay calm, you keep it. That control shifts the entire dynamic. Suddenly, she's not testing you, she's trying to figure you out. Let me be clear. Staying calm doesn't mean tolerating disrespect. It means you address things with strength, not desperation. You walk away from the chaos not because you're afraid of conflict, but because you refuse to dance with dysfunction. Your energy is too valuable to waste on proving your worth to someone who's trying to unsettle you. Instead, show her who you are by what you don't say, by how you don't overreact, by how you move with purpose, even when things are unclear. That is what makes a woman pause and rethink everything. That's when she starts watching you differently. This is how you become the storm's still, eye-centered, sharp, untouchable. And here's a practical trick. Whenever you feel triggered, pause. Just pause. Breathe deep. 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out. Ask yourself, is this worth losing my peace? Most of the time, it isn't. Most of the time, silence says more than 1,000 words. You walk away with your dignity. You keep your frame. And believe it or not, that silence, it echoes in her mind longer than any argument ever could. Women remember the man who didn't flinch. So the next time you feel heat rising from her games, her words, her silence, don't take the bait. Let her wonder what you're thinking. Let her feel the absence of your chaos. Because nothing makes a stronger impact than the man who responds with calm in a world that expects him to lose control. Now here's something I want you to do. Drop a comment below and make a statement. Say it out loud. I stay calm. No need for long speeches, just 3 words. Let the world know you don't fold under pressure, you rise above it. And trust me, in a world full of men who chase, who break, who beg, that calm presence is what makes you unforgettable. Number 5. Focus on long-term goals. There's a reason Stoic men don't chase short-term thrills. They're anchored in something bigger, something that women can sense, even if they don't fully understand it. And this, right here, is where your true advantage begins. Let's talk about long-term goals. Not just goals like buying a car or getting a promotion. I'm talking about a vision, a direction. A mission that pulls you forward no matter who's playing games with you. Because when a man's mind is set on something greater than himself, he becomes immovable. And that kind of presence, it's rare, it's magnetic. Women don't admit it, but it gets under their skin in the best way possible. Here's what you need to know. When she plays games, when she pulls away, when she sends mixed signals, she's testing your focus. She's checking to see if you'll break formation, if you'll ditch your path just to chase validation. The moment you do, you lose ground, not just with her, but with yourself. Women don't truly admire a man who bends for every mood swing. They admire the one who stands his ground, the one who has a life so full, so driven, so deeply committed to a greater purpose that no woman, no matter how beautiful, can pull him off course. Now let's be clear. This isn't about being cold or emotionally unavailable. This is about priority. When your goals are rooted in long-term meaning, you start viewing temporary drama as just noise. You respond instead of react. You protect your time like it's sacred, and that makes you incredibly powerful. Long-term vision changes how you carry yourself. You walk slower, you speak with purpose. You stop needing attention because you're already lit up from within. You become a challenger not because you're trying to be, but because you actually are. And guess what? That mystery, that forward momentum, it does something to her. It makes her curious. It makes her chase. Because deep down, every woman wants to be part of a story that's going somewhere. She doesn't want to feel like she's the destination. She wants to feel like she's joining a man who's already in motion. So what does this mean for you? It means stop treating women like your finish line. Start treating your vision like your compass. Build something. Create. Train. Expand. Take risks that make you uncomfortable. Build a life that no one can take from you. That kind of stability doesn't come from her approval, it comes from your purpose. And here's the twist. Once you truly commit to this, once your long-term mission becomes non-negotiable, her games lose power over you. You won't be fazed by silence. You won't be rattled by distance, because you're moving forward regardless. When she sees that, she'll either step up or fall off. Either way, you win. If there's one thing I want you to take from this, it's that goals aren't just about achievement. They're about identity, who you become while chasing them. And that version of you, that's the man she can't replace. So now, ask yourself this. Are your days building your future, or are they just reacting to hers? Comment down below and finish this sentence. I protect my focus. And don't just say it, live it, because the man who protects his mission protects his soul. And once you do that, you don't just outsmart the games, you rise above them. Number 6. Avoid emotional retaliation. Let's get one thing straight. Emotional retaliation is a trap. It doesn't make you stronger, more masculine, or more in control. It just proves that someone else's chaos has gotten inside you. And when you're a man operating from Stoic discipline, that's the last thing you allow. It's easy to react, to fire back when she disrespects you, to send a sharp message when she pulls away, to let the pain make decisions for you. But that's what most men do. Most men let a single moment of ego destroy their long-term position of strength. Most men burn the bridge just because they were hurt. But you're not most men. You see, a woman will test you. Whether she realizes it or not, she wants to see what you're made of. She wants to know if her emotional highs and lows can control your center. And the moment she realizes they can, game over. The balance of power shifts. You become reactive, predictable, and ultimately forgettable. The man who wins in these moments isn't the loudest. He isn't the one who hits back harder. He's the one who doesn't flinch, who feels the sting, acknowledges it, and chooses to remain unmoved. That's power. That's real self-control. Think of it like this: when you retaliate emotionally, you step into her world. You abandon your logic, your mission, your clarity. You descend into the same emotional battlefield she might be stuck in. And while it might feel satisfying for a few minutes, what you lose is far greater: your sense of self, your groundedness, your edge. Because real masculinity isn't reactive, it's patient, it's deliberate, it's calm under fire. When she pulls back, when she insults you, when she ghosts you, you don't chase, you don't argue. You don't craft a clever comeback to prove you're unfazed. You simply let your silence speak. You focus on your life. You move forward. And that silence becomes thunder in her mind. She starts to feel your absence louder than any words you could have said. Retaliation feeds her ego. Restraint forces her to question herself. That's the difference. And it doesn't just end with romantic situations. In every area of your life, people will try to provoke a reaction. Whether it's at work, in family dynamics, or in friendships, emotional discipline is what separates men of substance from the emotional amateurs. Every time you feel the urge to clap back, remember this: if it costs you your peace, it's too expensive. Now, does this mean you become passive? Absolutely not. Stoicism is not weakness. It's not silence for the sake of being silent. If you need to walk away, you walk. If you need to cut someone off, you do it cleanly and confidently, but you do it on your terms, not as a reaction, but as a conscious decision that aligns with your values. You're not here to prove anything. You're here to build something: a strong inner world, a meaningful path, a life that doesn't get knocked off course every time someone throws emotional bait. And here's the most important thing to understand. When you stop reacting emotionally, you become harder to replace, harder to manipulate, harder to forget. Women remember the man who stayed calm when others crumbled. They remember the one who didn't need to yell, didn't need to beg, didn't need to explode, because he was too busy living like a man with direction. So the next time you're hurt, slighted, or pushed, breathe. Let it sit, let it pass. Then ask yourself, is my response a reflection of my pain or a reflection of my power? Always choose power. And if you've ever walked away in silence when you had every reason to scream, or stood still in the storm when your emotions told you to run, then say it loud in the comments below. I choose calm. Because in the world of emotional games and psychological warfare, the calm man wins every time. Number 7. Communicate clearly and firmly. Let's not overcomplicate it. Communication is everything. In the world of Stoic masculinity, your words carry weight. Or at least, they should. But in relationships, especially when emotions run high and games get played, most men either say too much or nothing at all. They ramble, over-explain, or worse, they shut down completely. But here's the truth. The man who speaks with clarity and firmness doesn't just gain respect. He sets the tone for everything that follows. So, what does it mean to communicate like a man grounded in Stoic power? It means you don't beat around the bush. You don't lace your words in passive-aggressive hints or emotional bait. You say what you mean, and you say it once, not louder, not in a loop, just clear, direct, solid. For example, if someone crosses a line, you call it out, without raising your voice, without justifying why it bothers you. Your boundary is your boundary. Period. No long monologue needed. When a woman tests your limits, she's not just seeing what you'll tolerate, she's watching how you express yourself when tested. And if your reaction is to either explode or retreat, she knows exactly how to handle you. But when you respond with steady conviction, calmly asserting where you stand, she feels it. Not just hears it, feels it. That's where the real authority is. You don't need to speak often to be powerful. In fact, the less noise you make, the more people lean in to hear you. The key is being intentional. Every word should come from a place of grounded certainty, not emotional turbulence. Whether you're stating your boundaries, expressing what you want, or calling out disrespect, the message should always be simple and rooted in your values. And let's get something straight. Firmness is not aggression. You don't need to dominate, belittle, or steamroll anyone. That's insecurity pretending to be strength. Real strength knows how to speak without raising a voice. It doesn't threaten, it doesn't manipulate, it just is. This level of communication isn't just about protecting your space, it commands attention. It draws people in, especially women. Because in a world of men who either stay silent or spiral into arguments, the one who stays composed, direct, and centered becomes unforgettable. Think about it. A woman might be emotionally charged, venting or trying to provoke a reaction. Most men would either engage in the chaos or retreat altogether. But you stay calm, make eye contact, and respond with 3 or 4 words that recenter the entire conversation. That's what resets the dynamic. That's what flips the power back in your direction, not with force, but with presence. Clarity creates safety, not just for her, but for you. You're no longer wasting mental energy decoding mixed signals or trying to win petty arguments. You're not dancing around issues or hoping she just gets it. You're clear. And when you're clear, you're in control. But firmness also means following through. If you say you won't tolerate something, and then you do, your words lose value. And once that happens, so does your influence. Communicating firmly isn't just about how you speak, it's about whether your actions echo your words. If they don't match, your clarity becomes noise. But when they align, you become a man who cannot be shaken. So ask yourself this: are you the kind of man who avoids hard conversations? Do you tiptoe around her mood just to keep the peace? Or do you stand in the fire not to fight, but to speak truth, even when it's uncomfortable? The man who communicates clearly and firmly doesn't chase understanding, he builds it. He doesn't explain himself twice. He doesn't let silence replace honesty. And most importantly, he doesn't let emotion rewrite the truth. So next time you're about to dodge the truth, sugarcoat your boundaries, or leave something unsaid out of fear, stop, breathe, and speak like a man who knows exactly what he stands for. And if you've ever held your ground calmly, spoken your truth without flinching, or said no without guilt, drop it in the comments. I speak with strength, because in a world full of noise, a calm and clear voice is a thunderclap. Number 8. Prioritize your own well-being. Let's get one thing straight. When you're dealing with someone who plays emotional games, your greatest leverage isn't in reacting to them, it's in protecting your own peace. When you prioritize your well-being, you stop giving them the ammunition they crave, your emotional reactions, your confusion, your spiraling thoughts. You shift the energy back to yourself, and that's where your power lives. Too often, men caught in these mental tug-of-wars forget this. They focus so much on trying to decode what she means, what her silence says, or how to respond to her mixed signals, that they forget the person most deserving of their energy is themselves. But here's the truth. The more you chase, the more power you lose. The more you center your life around her behavior, the more disconnected you become from your own. So how do you prioritize your well-being without becoming cold or indifferent? Start by setting emotional boundaries. That means recognizing when your mind starts spiraling into assumptions and stopping that cycle. Not every unanswered message deserves your anxiety. Not every shift in tone needs a reaction. The more you allow space between her behavior and your response, the more control you take back. And she'll feel that shift, trust me. Second, get your routines back. If you were working out before she started playing games, go harder. If you were grinding on your purpose, double down. Don't let emotional noise interfere with the rhythm of your growth. Because nothing is more attractive or more intimidating to someone trying to manipulate you than a man who refuses to lose focus. Third, be intentional with your social life. Get out of your own head. Surround yourself with people who fuel your energy, not drain it. When you're fully engaged in your own world, you stop orbiting around hers. And this isn't about ignoring her to win the game. It's about realizing that your time, your energy, and your peace of mind are sacred. Anyone who disrespects them is showing you they don't deserve access to you. Now here's where most men go wrong. They think prioritizing themselves is selfish, but it's actually the opposite. You show up better, stronger, and more grounded in every relationship when your inner world is stable. It's not ego, it's equilibrium. When a woman sees you not reacting, not begging for attention, not chasing answers, you force her to self-reflect. You disrupt the game. And in that disruption, she'll either level up or fade out. Either way, you win. So ask yourself, have you been so caught up in her moves that you've neglected your own progress? If so, it's time to shift. The version of you who has boundaries, who prioritizes his own health, who doesn't explain himself to confusion that man doesn't chase, he attracts. And let me say this, clearly well-being isn't just about going to the gym or meditating. It's about mental discipline. It's about knowing when to walk away from chaos and when to sit with your own emotions until they pass. That's strength. That's maturity. When you live like this, you're no longer playing her game, you're playing your own. And that's the only game where you control the outcome. Now, I want you to affirm that mindset. Drop a comment and say it loud. I choose peace. You don't need to fight for someone's approval when you've already chosen yourself. Keep holding that line. Number 9. Practice patience. Let's get real for a moment. When someone plays games with your heart, your first instinct might be to react fast, emotionally, impulsively. But here's where most men lose the game. They confuse urgency with power. The truth? Patience is your greatest leverage. It's not passivity, it's strategy. It's you, standing tall in the storm, completely unmoved. That's what makes a man look unshakable. And believe me, she notices. Patience isn't weakness, it's control. And in this kind of emotional chess match, control is everything. When a woman plays games, delayed replies, mixed signals, subtle manipulations, she's testing more than your affection. She's measuring your emotional discipline. Will you chase? Will you break? Or will you remain composed? Most men crumble. They rant, beg, or spiral into doubt. But the man who practices patience does something different. He creates space. And in that space, she starts questioning herself. She wonders why you're not reacting. And that's the moment the dynamic shifts. Think of patience like silent pressure. It doesn't scream, it doesn't beg, it just stands still and makes the other person feel the weight of their own behavior. Now here's the twist. Patience isn't about waiting around forever. It's about strategic stillness. You wait because your next move matters. You wait because you're watching. You wait because emotional maturity demands it. The man who rushes loses clarity. The man who pauses gains power. And yes, I know it's hard. When emotions run high, silence can feel like weakness. But Stoicism teaches us to delay reaction, to observe before responding, to endure the discomfort of waiting, because the long game is where true dominance lies. Picture this. She pulls back, maybe stops replying, maybe starts talking to someone new. If you react emotionally, she knows she's in control. But if you keep doing your thing, stay calm, stay purpose-driven, you send a completely different message. I am not here to compete for you. I am not here to chase confusion. That hits different, because now she's the one feeling the void. Not because you disappeared, but because you didn't flinch. And that absence of emotional collapse, that's magnetic. That's what pulls her curiosity back in. Patience also gives you one massive advantage: clarity. When you're not rushing to react, you start seeing patterns. Her intentions become more transparent, your emotions settle, and in that clarity, you gain the wisdom to choose or not just react. You can ask yourself, is this someone I really want long-term, or is this just an emotional tug of war that I'm addicted to? Patience is the space where truth becomes visible, and that truth, it's everything. It also strengthens your presence. People feel when a man isn't in a rush to prove, to react, or to fix. That kind of energy is rare and it's powerful. It says, I'm grounded. You can try to shake me, but I won't move until I decide to. Now, if you're thinking, but what if she walks away during that silence? Here's the cold truth. If she walks away because you didn't play her game, she was never in it for the real you. She was hooked on control. And trust me, you don't want to win someone who only responds to weakness. You want the kind of dynamic where patience doesn't just protect your peace, it commands her respect. So next time you feel the urge to react, don't. Pause, breathe, let the silence speak. Let her wonder. Let her feel the stillness you've mastered. Because while she's playing games, you're building emotional muscle. That's the man she can't manipulate. That's the man she remembers. Now I want to hear from you. I stay calm. Drop that in the comments if you're done reacting and ready to master the art of emotional control. Number 10. Choose when to walk away. There's a silent strength in knowing when to stay and when to leave. Most men think walking away is weakness. But truthfully, it's one of the boldest moves a man can make, especially when a woman is playing games with your heart. When you understand your value, walking away isn't surrender, it's strategy. Staying in a toxic dynamic just because you're emotionally invested, that's not loyalty. That's self-sabotage. See, women can sense when a man is willing to tolerate disrespect, inconsistency, or manipulation. And the moment she knows you're afraid to walk away, she holds all the power. But when you show her that your standards are higher than your need for her affection, everything shifts. You become unpredictable. You reclaim control. This doesn't mean storming out dramatically or cutting her off in anger. It means making a calm, firm decision when you realize the situation no longer aligns with your peace, your goals, or your values. That's Stoic strength in action. The idea of walking away often scares men because we've been taught to chase, to fight, to fix. But some situations aren't meant to be fixed. They're meant to teach. And the lesson here is this: respect is non-negotiable. If you have to beg for it, you're in the wrong place. There's power in silence, in withdrawal. When you walk away without explanation, without neediness, you force her to confront your absence, and trust mesh will feel it. Because attention, once freely given, now becomes a void she didn't expect. That's when the game flips. But here's the key. Don't walk away to provoke a reaction. Walk away because you've already found peace in your decision. Do it for you, not for her response. That's what separates a boy from a man. Choosing when to walk away is also choosing yourself, your mental clarity, your emotional health, your time. It's choosing not to engage in manipulation, in hot and cold behavior, in emotional hostage situations. It's choosing to protect your masculine frame at all costs. Some women test boundaries not because they're cruel, but because they want to know what kind of man you are. If you fold under pressure or tolerate nonsense, she may lose respect even if she doesn't admit it. But if you stand firm, draw your line, and walk when necessary, you command her attention and her admiration. And this isn't just about romantic relationships. This principle applies to friends, family, colleagues, anyone who tries to disturb your inner balance. Walking away is the most stoic response you can have when you've done all you can and the chaos continues. It's not an act of ego, it's an act of discipline. But make no mistake, walking away must be backed by truth. You can't bluff it. If she senses you're still emotionally chained to her, that you'll come back with the right amount of pressure or guilt, the spell breaks. So don't just walk physically, walk mentally, spiritually. Leave the door shut. Now, if she returns, it's because she respects your silence and not because she manipulated it. And you'll know if the energy has shifted, you'll feel it. If it hasn't, keep walking. Men who understand this never beg, never chase. They lead. They let their actions speak louder than their words. So if you're in a situation where the games are constant, where your presence is taken for granted, ask yourself, am I staying because I see growth or because I fear letting go? If it's the second, then you already know what needs to be done. You don't win by reacting. You win by removing yourself from the battlefield altogether. And that's a power no one can take from you. Now, I want to hear from you. Type in the comments, I walk in power. Let the world know you're not afraid to choose peace over chaos. You've made it to the end that already sets you apart. Most people hear the truth and walk away. But men like you stay, you absorb, and you evolve. If this video sparked something in you, if it reminded you of your worth, your strength, your control, then this is your sign to keep going, to stop settling, to start choosing peace over chaos, purpose over distraction, and power over pleasing. This channel isn't just content, it's a mindset. It's a reminder of who you really are when the noise fades. So if you're ready to live with intention, lead with discipline, and master your emotion shit, that subscribe button right now. New videos drop daily to keep your mind sharp and your spirit unshakable. Drop a comment below, something real, something bold. Your voice matters here. I'll see you in the next one. Stay sharp, stay solid, stay stoic.